It's a mystery that remains unsolved for almost 16 years. Who killed Bridgette Gearen? Investigators say the young Orange County woman was beaten, sexually assaulted, and strangled on Crystal Beach. Fox 4's Angel San Juan is in studio with new information on this case. Angel?
Hey, Dax, the chief investigator on this case describes it as an old case, but not a cold case. He says to this day it remains active, consisting of 1,000 pages of reports that include about 180 interviews. Not knowing who killed Bridgette continues to take a toll on her loved ones, but for the first time in many years, they might have reason for hope. Smart, quirky, sweet, and pretty. Adjectives many use to describe Bridgette Gearen. Her Aunt Lisa says mom is the description that mattered most to Bridgette.
She was a great mother, loved her daughter. She was putting herself through college and working at a law firm, taking care of her and her daughter and her pawpaw. She lived with her pawpaw, so, you know, they was taking care of each other right there.
Bridgette lived in Orange County, graduated from Orangefield High School, and at 28 was on a path to success.
She probably would have had her own law firm by now.
A bright future cut short during a trip to Crystal Beach in July of 2007. Bridgette and her 2-year-old daughter, Kira, went to stay with coworkers from her law firm at a rented beach cabin on Monkhouse Drive. July 15th, Bridgette left the house late at night.
They said she was gone within 90 seconds of stepping out of the beach cabin. She was going down to meet the daughters of the people that was in the cabin, and they were going to go riding on the beach. They were teenage girls at that time, and she never made it there.
She was just at the wrong place at the wrong time.
Lieutenant Tommy Hansen is with the Galveston County Sheriff's Office Criminal Investigations Division. He says witnesses reported seeing a small blue or black SUV-type vehicle picking up Bridgette. That's the last time anyone's reported seeing the young mother alive.
Next thing you know, some military paramedics that were all together camping out together on the beach woke up and opened up the back of their camper truck, and there she was floating in the water right there behind them.
It was very horrific. It was torture, in my opinion. It was torture.
I would just say that it was, she went through an extraordinarily brutal evening.
Lisa says the heartbreak for Bridgette's mother, Pam, her brother, Jimmy, and her daughter is that the killer is free nearly 16 years later.
You learn to live on, but the pain don't go away, and the wondering of, is this person standing next to me could possibly be it, that person. I work for the public. That thought hits my mind a lot.
It's an old case, unfortunately, and it's not a cold case.
Lieutenant Hansen has led the investigation from the start. All these years later, it still haunts him.
There's a handful of them in my career that I can't walk away from. That's why I'm still doing what I'm doing. And this is surely probably at the top of the list.
The transitory nature of the area can make cases tough to crack.
We're a tourist area. We have heavy industry there, which brings in people from all over the country to work 6 months or a year. And on paper, they don't live there, but they're living there for a year, doing whatever they do. You know, we're the playground for basically the 4th largest city in the country. So it's amazing how many cases you work, particularly like Galveston on the island or on the peninsula, where you have victims that don't live there, and you have witnesses that don't live there, and you develop suspects and they don't live there.
Hurricane Ike, the year after Bridgette's murder, devastated the Bolivar Peninsula and damaged the investigation.
A whole lot of people that may have been in conversations or heard things or whatever literally were blown to the wind. They were gone.
Lisa worries the killer may be gone, but remains a threat.
And I pray that no other woman has been done the way that she was done, and that they catch whomever it was and get them off the street.
But Lieutenant Hansen says there's reason for hope. In this interview, he's making public for the first time what he describes as a dynamic development in the case.
It was reaching a very strong point of frustration. I'm still not 100% good, but we've had a major development about the last 8 months that has an extraordinarily important development, and I think I feel like we're on the right track here, and we're working very closely with the DA's office and the medical examiner's office, and there's a lot of things to fill in, and there's not 100% this is going to get us where we want to be, but we're in probably a better spot than we've been in some time.
Hansen also revealing to us that he believes Bridgette's killer is still alive and that her murder was not planned.
Nobody intended to stalk anybody that night. Nobody intended to kill anybody that night. Nobody probably intended to assault or beat anybody that night. Just a series of events occurred, and here we are.
16 years later, the family continues to plead with the public not to forget Bridgette and for anyone with information to come forward.
Somebody, this person or persons has talked to someone somewhere. Somebody knows something. And the family would really love some closure on it all.
Bridgette's daughter, who was only 2 years old when her mother was murdered, is now 18 and is graduating high school this month. If you have any information that can help solve this case, please call the Galveston County Sheriff's Office. That phone number is 409-766-2322. Dax.